Mr. Amrit Acharya. Amrit, uh, digitization has been used several times by every speaker in terms of some of the modes by which companies have tried to cater to the risks that they have faced. You are a digital company who aims to bridge this through marketplaces and a variety of different business models. Can you tell us how you have seen the issue of resilience with your customers and clients? And what is the insight that you may have for all the guests today?
No, thanks a lot, Nikhil, for having me. I'll maybe take a minute to introduce our company. I think we are not as well known compared to some of the other ones, and then I'll talk about what you just said. Fundamentally, what we do is we work with customers who want to get products made. We partner with these companies at the design phase, and we make sure that these products are ultimately made as per spec. But we largely do it through asset-light marketplace model, as you mentioned. So we tap into the existing SME network, largely focused on India. And we feel that there's a lot of depth to manufacturing in India. And we provide a digital platform, so to speak, where these SMEs can showcase their credentials, their capabilities, and then ultimately lead to fulfilling the orders that customers have. And we are present across many supply chains, beginning with like industrial ones like oil and gas, aerospace, infrastructure, to consumer ones like retail, apparel, etc. I think the number one thing that we saw, so we are a very digital first company. So in fact, in the last 24 months since COVID started, I think we have been work from home for maybe 18 or 19 of those months. In fact, we are work from home right now. So I'm at my parents' place in Bhubaneswar, where I grew up. And for us, it was a very easy switch to make, in terms of aligning the entire org. That okay, suddenly we are in changing the way we operate, and some of the things that the other panelists mentioned have been very helpful for us in terms of over communicating as a company, in terms of using. We were anyway fairly digitally native when we started our journey, but just doubling down on some of these technologies, etc. But there are two, three things specifically which we did, which we found helpful. Number one was, in a time of volatility, I think there was a period of time when actually nobody knew what the next few months are going to look like, and everybody was looking at experts, at leaders for answers. But reality is there was no real consensus on what is the right way forward, and we started looking inwards into the company. I think what is the data that is coming out of the company in terms of segments that are doing well, segments that are not doing well. What are customers saying, and what are our people saying who are closer to the business sometimes than even leadership is. And we doubled down on that. So we moved from being a very top down company in terms of how decision making is made to very bottom up, like where decentralization of decision making took place in a massive way across the organization. Now, there were certain risks attached to that as well, but it helped us become extremely agile. So when market shifts were happening around us, we were very quick to notice them, and at least point on whether this market is a crisis or an opportunity. Give an example of this. Like before we entered COVID, our business was 100% focused on the domestic India market. But today, almost 20% of our revenues come from the US. Now, this is a shift which happened in 1 year, and from 0% to 20%, while the company itself grew a lot. And we don't have any employees in the US. We have maybe 5 people there. So this entire aspect of onboarding customers digitally from India, of course, in a very volatile environment, was something which, again, none of us really knew the answer going in, but we picked up these signals from the company and from the market at large that this is the right thing to do at this point in time. The second thing which we did was, again, like looking at our business overall and focus on diversification as a theme. So what are cycles that we are over indexed to, what are cycles we are under indexed to, and hence how can we strike the right balance between players on market trends that are important, at the same time keeping a slight bit of a healthy distance and de-attachment to any specific industry or opportunity. And the last thing I'll say, on this is, and I think people mentioned the role of technology. As I said, we are very technology first. So when we entered into this cycle, I think we started positioning the company very differently. Also, what before COVID, like a lot of customers perceived us as a very, maybe a good to have, but suddenly it became a very must have in terms of digital selection of supply, digital monitoring of projects as they're going through that manufacturing journey, and the way we presented ourselves to customers that we work with, that look, you know the world is changing, and here is one way, which is, us. Of course, you have many other options. Here is one way where you can, uh, you know at least participate in this change in a way that is minimally disruptive to your business.
I have a little bit of problem, but if you're with us, could I request you to give us some of the insights as to what you are going to be focusing on at Zetwerk in the next 6 months, 1 year?
Yeah, yeah. My internet is a little choppy, but the key focus for us is international. I think this year, it helps us build resiliency as well from the markets we operate in today to the markets we can operate in the future. And other than that, the idea is to we're a growing company, so we need to build the right systems and processes within to make sure that the as the business enters into a scale, then the the SLAs and service levels that we used to offer our customers stay the same. So that's the main area of focus this year.